you don't eat meat. So, you know, give me an example of a balanced, good meal.
Okay, I can give you several. For instance, like I said, a baked potato and broccoli and a salad. I may have greens. I try to eat greens every single day. I also take a green powder that I mentioned the other day to keep the body alkaline. I eat seeds every day, either chia, sunflower, or let's see, what's the pumpkin seeds. I love sunflower seeds, so I eat those almost every day on my salad, or I make a salad dressing with them. Actually, the Shorter's Health Manual has raw recipes and cooked recipes, plant-based, that you can find a variety of loaves, patties, if that's what you like. Back in the day, I used to make those quite often. Now, if I make a patty once a month, that's it. I just eat the vegetables as they are. When I had a lifestyle center, real quickly, I would fix a vegetable plate for everybody at the table, just vegetables, a plate of steamed vegetables, cooked but seasoned. And everybody would always comment, wow, I haven't had vegetables in a long time. And I would sort of say to myself, that's why you're here. You haven't had vegetables.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, V20, go ahead and unmute, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Yes.
Sister Short, a question.
Yes.
I don't know if you're familiar with how to make the tincture. You can make it in what, 3 or 4 different solutions. You can make it with the vodka, with the vegetable glycerin, with apple cider, and I understand you can make it with oil, olive oil or something. Well, I didn't have the vegetable glycerin or vodka, so I use apple cider vinegar. But then I heard you last night saying, you know, vinegar is not good. Do you think that will be okay?
Me personally, if you want to use it, go right ahead. Me personally, I could never use vinegar for anything except cleaning in my kitchen. And it's a very good cleaner for the toilet bowl, the sinks, the woodwork, mixed with, I think they mix it with soda and yeah, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't use it for anything internally. Actually, I have been offered many tinctures. I tried to bring myself to take it recently. They said you take the alcohol, you know, off or something. I couldn't bring myself to do it, and my tinctures are still in the box. But, you know, I just don't want to put alcohol. I noticed also that when Jesus was on the cross, he said, I thirst. And they gave him vinegar to drink, and he refused it. So I stand with that.
So there's a way to take the alcohol off, just let it evaporate?
That's what they say, yes. Put a hot boiling water dish underneath that and put that in a dish. But most people, well, I shouldn't say most, a few people that I know have taken it straight, or they put it on there and they still had the alcohol. It still had some alcohol in it. One lady could, after she was sitting down, she took it, she couldn't even stand up. She was spinning. So I have not ever taken a tincture, but I understand that they're very good for, you know, preserving herbs. I dry my herbs and then I use them after that. I use them as I need to once they're dried.
Okay, go ahead, Donna. Donna, can you unmute, please?
Yes,
okay.
yes, I did. Thank you. Rowena, hi, how are you? And
Good, good.
Sister Shorter for all this wonderful information and all your hard work, all of you, every one of you that's putting this together. God bless you all. My question is, Sister Shorter, you had mentioned, I think it was like today's Sunday, so it would have been Friday. You mentioned about a colon cleanse, I think it was.
Mhm.
What was the name of it or the company? And
Okay.
get my pen. Hold on a second, let me grab a pen. I just want to know the name of what you had mentioned. And okay, I'm ready. And
Okay. It's herbal fiber blend,
okay, herbal fiber.
soluble and insoluble fiber. And it has at least 4 or 5 different herbs that bring out parasites, as well as herbs that bring out black rope and mucus, etc. It is not a laxative. It is a colon cleanser. You take it over a period of 6 months for a total, how should I say, cleansing of the colon. If you have a prolapsed colon, it will straighten that colon out gradually, you know. And also, how I heard about it, I walked into our food factory one day, probably 35, 40 years ago, and these people were talking about worms coming out of them. And I said, "What are you all talking about?" And they said, "Oh, we're talking about herbal fiber." What is that? They told me all about it. I ordered some. I said, "I'm going to stay on this for 6 months." I tried it in water the first time. I vomited it back up, to be honest with you. It was so distasteful. But I put it in some juice and masked the taste, and I took it for 6 months. I felt 100% better. You just take it at night. It does not give you the runs. You can even take it early in the morning. You take it according to your weight just before you go to bed every night. That's what I do. That's what I did in the Lifestyle Center. But you can also take it in the morning if you're very plugged up. I've had several people through the years who took it for a whole week and still did not go to the bathroom. And those people hadn't been to the bathroom in weeks and weeks. But what I then did, I gave them senna leaves. It's called Swiss Chris. You can take to open you up right away, but I cannot even find it on the market anymore. Swiss Chris. It's just senna leaves tea made into a tablet, which was easy to take. If you can find it, good, but I haven't been able to find a store in the Northwest that carries it. That is a precursor to the herbal fiber blend if you're really plugged up. I can tell you story after story about that. People that were sick didn't know why they were sick. The doctors couldn't find anything. We gave them Swiss Chris and herbal fiber blend, and they're fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Let me see. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to see if that was you had mentioned about the plantain, that I remember. Okay. The plantain powder. That's, I think there was
By the way, the number you call is 1-800-823.
Hold on. 800. Okay. I'm ready.
1-800-456-2462. And you must use the ID number 87432. Because if you don't use my ID number, they'll assign you to someone else or they won't speak to you.
Okay, hold on. You went so fast. I got 800-456. Go ahead again.
2462. And the ID number is 87432.
87432. Okay, and this is where I will get the colon fiber blend, right?
Right, and the green powder and the progesterone cream for menopausal symptoms.
Oh yes, that was the other thing, my friend. Okay, green powder. Okay.
Renewed balance.
Okay, and the progesterone.
2-ounce cream, yes.
And that has Anna's wild yam in that ingredients?
It doesn't have Anna's, but it has wild progesterone cream in it, which is very effective. And according to Dr. John Lee, he said that particular one, AIM Corporation, has the most natural progesterone in it. Hence, you only have to use a tiny little bit. It'll last you 3 months.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, great. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Olivia, please unmute.
Good evening. My mother has severe rheumatoid arthritis.
Mhm.
No, we can't hear you, Miss Olivia.
You can't hear me.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying that my mother has rheumatoid arthritis, and she wakes up sometimes with her hands swollen, her ankles are severely swollen. And I was wondering how I could get that swelling down and what I can do for her pain. She's in a lot of pain.
Okay, for the swelling, you would do hot and cold. You get 2 buckets from Walmart. You put cold in one, hot in the other, and you alternate hot, cold, 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. I've done this so many times with people with edema. After a certain while, it goes down and it stays down, but they must get up and start walking. It's imperative that you walk and get the blood moving. And for the pain, you get the arnica rub, put it on there, the pain will go away almost immediately. Arnica.
The arnica rub is, where do I get that?
Let's see. Maybe you can find it on Amazon.
And how are you spelling that?
ARNICA.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Miss Foster, go ahead.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I didn't know you guys were starting early. I thought I was getting on early. But anyway, to my surprise, I'm just happy to be on. And I have a question. Was it you that was telling us about the aloe vera powder?
Yes.
What company, is there a website for that?
I think the FDA made them take it down. They had hundreds of testimonies with all kinds of autoimmune diseases. It's Digestacure, DIGESTACURE, digestacure.com. They have health professionals waiting to answer your questions about the product and tell you how to use it. It's an aloe vera powder, which is stronger than the aloe vera liquid, and it heals the gut in months, usually, no matter what autoimmune disease you have.
Okay. And the ice on the back, you were going over the stages?
Yes. I have trouble remembering them, but I think the first one is numbness, and then it burns, and then I forgot the next one, but then after that, the pain is gone. My husband couldn't walk for several days. I had to talk him into it. But by the time I did that for 20 minutes in a circular motion, the pain was gone. And he was so thankful that he had allowed me to practice on him as a medical missionary.
Okay. Thank you all so much. We greatly appreciate the program, and many blessings to you all.
Sure thing. You too.
Okay, Righteous Maiden.
Okay, thank you so much. Sister Shorter, I wanted to know with the vinegar, I have heard that it works, and I've actually been using it on a fungus toenail. And yet now I'm wondering if it's harmful, because even though I'm not ingesting it, my skin is going to be taking it into my system. So would you say that I would still be in danger of getting the worms that they carry? Or I know you mentioned that it had worms.
and whole page in my health manual devoted to vinegar and the ills that are in it. Vinegar actually goes to the second stage of alcohol. It's more alcoholic than alcohol, if you can believe that. And there are several other things you can use for that. You can use lemon juice, which stings a little bit, but you can also use a product called PAV, P-A-V. It's a tree resin that comes from the inner bark of 1,000-year-old trees. And you can also find at least 2 pages on that in the health manual. Or you can call Pruitt's Tree Resin, tell them Homeward Publishing Ministries referred you, and they will give you 10% off. And you want the PAV sample, which I think is only $17, including the shipping, and that will also take away your fungus.
Okay, we're going to go to Mel. Go ahead and unmute your phone.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask a question. Is there anything that you would recommend for treating a hernia?
Yes, my husband used to have a hernia, and hernia is actually when the diaphragm moves into the stomach. So first of all, you need to stop overeating, you need to exercise after you eat. I don't remember how many years it was, but his hernia actually went away. Don't lift heavy things, eat properly in right combinations, especially do not drink and eat with your meals, and do not eat late at night and then lie down and go to bed, or eat and take a nap. Instead, eat and take a walk. And that did it for my husband. You can try it. I hope and pray and pray. You know, Jesus is the great physician. If we take our sicknesses to him, he will heal us. I'm a witness. Pray about it. He will help you.
Okay, BC, go ahead and unmute, please.
Thank you. Morning. Sorry, good evening. Yes, morning for me. Would like to ask, more about vinegar, because a lot of vegan recipes uses apple vinegar cider, and that's one. The other thing is when all these have been going on, how do we help our children to be convinced of these?
I'm sorry. Speak a little louder.
Okay, sure. Yeah, just 2 questions. The apple vinegar cider, a lot of vegan recipes, they use that. So I guess I just have to substitute with lemon, is that right? If I don't use the apple vinegar, yes? Yeah, and then the other thing is, more importantly, how do we...
As a substitute for vinegar in every way.
Okay, sure. Then the other thing is, how do we help our children to be convinced, with all these that have been mentioned thus far? It's easy for us, but how about our own children? It's a bit difficult.
Yes. Yes, I know children can be very difficult, especially if they have had the opportunity to already develop bad or unhealthy habits. But I think the best way would to be a good example to them and show them the joy of obedience, the joy of doing the right thing. And they will catch on, Don't try to force them. Don't yell at them. Don't talk mean to them. Just be very kind and be an example. They'll pick it up. I started giving my children barley green, which is the green powder, when they were little. Oh, mommy, I don't like that. It's nasty. It's green. Okay, that's fine. And now, they take it and they ask me for it, especially one of my daughters. And, when they get sick enough, they'll ask you for it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Claudette, please unmute. Okay, we're going to go to Yvonne.
Yes. Okay, I am speaking now. Yes, I managed to unmute.
Okay.
I would love, is there anything,
Sister Claudette, we're going to ask for quick questions now because we have to go into the program. So we're going to ask
yes,
everyone
and something
to
for
do us quick.
migraine. Yeah, migraine headache. Do you have anything, recommend anything for migraine headache?
I can recommend 2 things. Take the green powder. You need to eat more greens, more alkaline food, more alkaline diet, drink more water, exercise. I'm telling you, that's it. You'll be on your way. And a hot foot bath. That is the fastest. Within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, the headache is gone. Put your feet in hot water, halfway up to your knee. Put a cold towel to the head or to the neck, and the headache will go away. Because you're pulling blood from the brain all the way down to your feet. And it's too much blood collection there. So you have to relieve the brain by putting the feet in hot water. It works beautifully and quickly.
Okay, Yvonne Morrow.
Hi, my question is, can you tell me where to find the addition that Sister White talks about when she says 2 meals are better than 3, and if you will benefit. However, she also says that for some people, 2 meals are not good, and also that it is important for us to tell people the importance that I can't tell you what to eat. Telling you to eat beans and legumes may not be good for you.
Yes, you can find that in the Shorter's Health Manual, which is on my site.
Okay.
Homeward Publishing Ministries.com, or you can find it in, and this would be my first suggestion, read Counsels on Diets and Foods, because the principles that are in Shorter's Health Manual, I got from Counsels on Diet and Food, from studying it year after year after year after year. And yes, my husband used to say, you know, Sister White said, never deny the 3rd meal. That's when he was hungry in the evening and he wanted something to eat, and he wanted me to know, don't say anything. And I wouldn't say anything, because she does say that. You know, men have a very much stronger appetite for food than women. And when men want to have that 3rd meal, I don't think we should deny them. And they naturally eat more than women. I used to try to keep up with my 5 brothers and my dad, who had big fat plates. I did that for a while. And then I realized after I was a vegetarian that I shouldn't be eating that much. I was just following what all these males did in my family. But yeah, we don't eat as much. We shouldn't eat as much as men, because they're working hard. We're not. I hope that helps.
Okay, Roxanne Carter.
Thank you. Hi, Sister Shorter. I wanted to question you. You said something about what we should eat on our plates. And so when you said we should eat no more than 3 to 4 items on a plate. So then I think about, for example, if I will get my flax seed, I might eat a piece of fruit, I might eat maybe a piece of toast, and that's it. I'm done for the day. I was trying to figure out how do we count a food? Like, for example, you said a salad, you only put a few things in the salad. Do you count each thing you put in the salad towards that 3 or 4 items on the plate? So how do we situate a plate? And even when I think about what I put in a meal, like the other day I made a stir fry. And so then I had bell peppers in there and broccoli. And then I put that with some soy curls. And then that was one dish. And then on top, I would put that on top of rice. That's 4 different things. That means no dessert, nothing like, it's like, how do you do it?
I understand. Actually, I realize we have been programmed for all these food groups and appetizer and dessert and all that. We don't need all that in a meal. We our meals need to be simplified. Everything you eat takes a different enzyme, every food group. ask you to read what is either in my health manual or in Consuls on Diets and Foods, preferably Consuls on Diets and Food, because you get it straight from the prophetess. And I believe the Holy Spirit will tell you what to do. But for me, I am getting more and more and more simple. The people that I found, and this was just last year, the people that are the oldest in the world only eat 2 foods every single day. That told me something, because your digestive system will wear out before anything else in your body naturally, because we crowd too much food in the stomach. We eat and drink, we eat late, we eat in between meals. And so this wears out the digestion. When your digestion wears it out, you might as well just forget it. You're on your way out. And I've seen it with so many people, and that's why it's been a tremendous interest and study of mine to try to make the foods as simple as possible, find the principles in the spirit of prophecy and obey them, no matter what it takes. So if you have greens, and if you have rice, and if you can just have celery, something raw. That will take the place of a salad, or carrots, or cucumbers, or, you don't have to have a salad with all these ingredients like they have. Olives. She said we should eat olives. If we ate them every day, it'd be very helpful. I don't eat them every day, but I buy a number 10 can of olives and I eat 7 a day, most of the days.
Just 7 individual olives.
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're good for the liver, the kidneys, for every organ of the body. She said, eat the oil as eaten in the olive.
Okay. Alicia, go ahead.
Okay, I have 2 quick questions. One is for a double amputee diabetic, and I want to know some things that can be used for him. His hand is already kind of on the withering way. And another one is
doing what? His hand is doing what?
His hand is withering, like it's poor circulation.
Okay,
So
let me tell you how to deal with that first. Go to a sink or get the little tubs from the dollar store and put hot water in one and ice water in the other one. And do that morning and night 3 times each in the morning, 3 times each in the evening. You do 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. I did it with my dad that had a stroke. Immediately, the feeling came back into his hands. Just keep doing it. Or you can do a paraffin bath and look on the internet and find out he could put his hands down in this paraffin wax that will relieve the pain. It will also help the circulation, and the feeling can come back in.
Okay,
Was there
Carol.
something else? Okay.
Carol, can you unmute, please?
Unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. One
Okay.
question, please.
Hi there.
Hi, Carol. You're a bundle of joy and excitement. Go right ahead, Carol. Can't hear you.
Her connection is bad. Carol, if you could just remain still, maybe we'll be able to hear you.
Brother had a mushroom farm.
Okay, I can't hear you. Okay, I'll tell you what Carol's asking me about, because she texted me a little while ago. She wants to eat her mushrooms. And so I said, you go right ahead. I'm not eating mushrooms. I haven't been eating mushrooms for 40 years over that because I found out that mushrooms are a fungus. They're not in one of the food groups, vegetables, fruits, nuts, grains. They are a fungus, which makes it a mold. It is a carcinogen. And by the way, there are a lot of things that help. Shark cartilage. Have you ever heard of shark cartilage? That works for cancer, they say. But God has given us so many other things. We don't have to use shark sharp cartilage. Neither do we have to use mushrooms. Mushrooms was one of our favorite dishes in our restaurant when we first opened. When I found out it was a fungus, guess what? I took it off the table. And the customers complained. I said, sorry, we don't eat funguses. They got over it, and so did I.
Okay, Marlene?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, I know you said mushroom is a fungus, but what about bread yeast? Is that in the same category? What's the difference?
Yes, it is. And that's why you should wait 2 to 3 days before you eat the bread. Don't eat fresh bread out of the oven. That is what we are counseled to do, because it's very, very possible you could get candida.
But bread yeast is okay to use as
It's
long as you
okay
don't eat it
to
right away.
use, but under certain conditions, the second or third day after it has been baked in bread. Personally, most of the time, I make my own flat bread out of lentils, out of organic non-GMO masa, which is corn, or I make waffles, and I eat that as bread.
Do you have anything that show food combinations? Because that's something that I believe a lot of people will be interested in, because I was never taught anything about combining foods. We just eat.
Very good question. 10 Talents, I don't know if it's .com or .org. They're the only people I've seen through the years who had a food chart, a food combining chart that I would follow. I haven't seen any other one. So they print, and they started the book way back when. That's where I started. I learned how to cook plant-based foods. 10 Talents, the cookbook 10 Talents. So I think it's 10talents.com, something like that. It's by Dr. Frank and Rosalie Hurd.
Okay, Eric Maosa.
Yes, my name is Lydia. Thank you so much, Gwen Shorter, for your wonderful information. I just have one question. My mother is diabetic, and also she has hypertension. And I was trying to help her. She isn't an Adventist, but she was questioning taking some herbs together with the medicine that she receives, that she gets from the hospital. I didn't know, so I was trying to tell her to take the aloe vera, but she didn't know whether she can take aloe vera and at the same time take the medicine from the hospital. What do you think about that?
I think that you should, first of all, do some research on your own. Secondly, consult with your physician. And thirdly, when you start the natural remedies, start them slowly, cautiously. And as you see a reaction that you're taking too much medication, you need to come back on the medication, cut back on it. And yes, and first of all, those are lifestyle diseases. So there needs to be exercise after both meals a day. That in itself will do a lot to lower the blood pressure and to relieve the symptoms of diabetes. Secondly, she needs to eat her meals on time every day and eat less starches, carbohydrates, and more alkaline foods, et cetera, et cetera. We could talk for a long time. Email me at Homeward Publishing Ministries at gmail.com, and perhaps I could help you a little more.
Okay, I believe that this may have to be the last question.
Okay.
Galaxy S10, because we're actually going to 6 o'clock hour. So we're getting really late, you guys.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. I have a question about colitis. What's the natural treatment to relieve someone of colitis?
That's in a family of diseases like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, etc. And there could be a lot of reasons why a person has colitis. One of the main reasons is eating flesh meats, because meat does not go through the system very quickly, and and it gets stagnated because we have a longer colon than animals do. So it putrefies in there and it sets up this putrefaction and spews toxins everywhere. It takes 10 to 15 years to make cancer. I would say do a thorough detox with herbal fiber blend, get all of that stuff out with juices and, you know, the herbal fiber blend, and then get on a plant-based diet and exercise and deep breathe, and they'll feel 100% better. Everything that you do just about can be reversed if you go back to the simple 8 laws of health. And
Amen.
I agree. I thought it was too simplistic myself, but I've tried it through the years and it works. Keep your meals on time. Don't eat late. Exercise after you eat. This is the main challenge I'm having doing these meetings, sitting for 4 and 5 and 6 hours. But you know what? When I get through and before, I get up and walk and I get on my rebounder. You have to be purposefully thinking about remaining healthy, preventing sickness in order to stay well. It cannot be a haphazard thing that you do once in a while or you think of every now and then. It must be deliberate, purposefully planning your meals and doing what the Lord tells us to do. This is part of the heralding of the third angel's message. So don't be discouraged, be encouraged, but step it up. Okay?
Okay, Sister Shorter. So we're going to go ahead and begin the program. We thank you for all those that have raised their hands, but we have to go forward.
Yes. And you know, I have not found